That's not loading. There you go. Oh, crazy sell-off. What can I say? Is for me, that's obviously, I feel a little bit sad, but at the same time, I've got breaking news. Breaking news. What's the breaking news? Well, first and foremost, if you haven't joined me, I've been traveling to El Salvador, Central America, South America, on behest of Dtravel, pushing and promoting Dtravel. And for a period of time, we were doing a good job, and then suddenly we hit this kind of crazy sell-off. What's going on with Dtravel? What's the latest? Well, let's have a look. Recently, and I want to say recently, extremely recently, if you go to the blog on the website, that's kind of where you find the latest news and updates. Look at this ecosystem, a new chapter for Dtravel, rebuilding travel around people, a note from Dtravel's new CEO, Eric Pace. And I've been talking about Eric, haven't I? So if you've been following me, you'll know that I've been talking about Eric. Where can I find him? That's Eric. That's me and Eric together. So Eric came to El Salvador. He's been to El Salvador twice now. The first time we hung out for 6 days. The second time he came with his family. We hung out for like over a week. And we've been talking about El Salvador. We've been talking about Central and South America. We've been talking about Dtravel. We've been talking about the changes in the future. And what we have now is what I've been talking about, which is the announcement. This was announced November the 13th of this month. Let's have a look at it. I'm going to read it out. So, a note from Dtravel's new CEO, Eric Pace. And this is him. When I first joined Dtravel years ago, I saw a team that believed travel could be rebuilt around people rather than platforms. That belief hasn't changed, but how we get there has. The first chapter of Dtravel started with crypto payments and the vision of a community-owned alternative to Airbnb. It was an ambitious start, but if we're honest, it still looked a lot like the thing we were trying to fix, i.e. he's saying that what we're trying to fix is Airbnb, but Dtravel looked like Airbnb. The next chapter begins with a harder question. What would travel look like if it truly served the people who make it possible? That's the question. What's broken? So here he's saying travel has lost its sense of ownership. So who owns travel right now? That's a question. The short-term rental industry has entered its institutional phase. What started as a renting spare rooms is now a $140 billion plus global asset class. Hosts feel trapped by platforms that take more than they give, and the extracted value results in higher prices for everyone. And I'm a host on Airbnb, and I can vouch for that. The prices have gone up. Airbnb is increasing their prices, and they're giving back less and less, other than fear. Faced with ever-increasing fees, travelers are often compelled to chase the best deals instead of forming meaningful connections. They're also sold loyalty programs with free perks that are actually funded by credit card fees and interest rates, which also extract value and increase travel prices for everyone. Locally created value is exported to distant shareholders rather than being shared with communities, especially the communities that serve travel in the areas which need it the most. So who is benefiting here? The big shareholders who are disconnected from the destinations and the communities which actually are the ones which are creating the experiences for the travelers. As the online travel industry has scaled, it has become increasingly disconnected from the people who actually create its magic and give travel its soul. That's the problem that we are here to solve, Dtravel. And I don't work for Dtravel, but I'm a long-term supporter, early adopter, call it what you want. I believe in decentralized travel, just the same way that the early adopters of Bitcoin believed in decentralized finance. Yeah. So that's the problem he's saying we're here to solve. And what we're building, this is what we're building. We're not trying to build another search engine or online travel agency. And so a lot of people will come onto the Dtravel website and think, what's going on? It looks like another search engine or another OTA. And it may initially feel like that, but what's happening, the changes are that we're no longer on that track. We've actually evolved, our vision and our ambitions have increased. We're no longer, our ambitions aren't let's take down Airbnb, but it's actually let's create something that's gonna overshadow the whole thing because it's better and it's more complete and it serves travel to them in a much more true way, in a more kind of pure way, so that the people who are serving the travelers benefit and the travelers actually benefit too. The industry doesn't need more of those. We're building a network that lets people own the value they create. That means giving hospitality operators the tools to grow independently, not under the platform's rules, helping travelers build lasting relationships with the places and people they discover, reinforcing the idea that loyalty is earned through trust and participation, not points and spend, enabling everyone with the opportunity to invest in their local travel economy. Across the world, we're already seeing this spirit take shape. Local networks of operators collaborating instead of competing, travelers choosing direct connections over algorithms. These early communities are showing us what the future of travel can look like when ownership becomes the foundation. How can we align incentives? For travel to work for people who make it possible, we must align incentives. The hotel industry has proven for decades that loyalty is key to driving profit and demand at scale. Brands like Marriott and Hilton drive billions in annual revenue through their closed loyalty programs. The short-term rental industry is now at a similar inflection point, but with one key difference. Short-term rentals are fundamentally decentralized and community-driven. This means a closed corporate loyalty program will never work at scale. We at Dtravel believe the solution is an open rewards layer. What does that mean? An open rewards layer that meaningfully incentivizes behavior and community participation rather than mere transactional benefits. This is how the short-term rental industry will grow beyond the platform-controlled system to a shared travel network. And here he goes on to explain. TRVL is the coordination and loyalty asset. That is the rewards layer, TRVL, the token. Okay, so the solution is an open rewards layer using TRVL as the asset to coordinate and to prove loyalty, or to give loyalty, to reward loyalty. That will incentivize thousands of localized micro networks connected through a unified travel layer. So it's quite technical, and I'll kind of try and explain. It will align operators, travelers, and owners around with shared success, enabling anyone to participate in the success of these local networks. Now, fundamentally, what he's saying is TRVL is the asset of value. That's what we're trying to do, to create TRVL, to make TRVL the asset of value. And that is why people will be incentivized because of TRVL. We're going to incentivize people by rewarding them in this kind of open rewards layer using TRVL as the coordination and loyalty asset. How is that going to happen? It can't happen now in the old method of doing it, trying to be an Airbnb competitor. But when we change the token economics, the tokenomics, then TRVL will be that coordination and loyalty asset, which will incentivize thousands of localized micro networks connected through this unified travel layer. So it's a little bit technical. It's kind of almost, you kind of have to read between the lines a little bit, but effectively we're changing it so that people will value TRVL, and that will incentivize them to bring their travel experiences, to bring their properties, to bring their travel, to use Dtravel to travel because of TRVL. That's what he's saying. He's saying that all eyes are going to be on TRVL. Yeah. In the same way that all eyes were on Bitcoin, what we want to do is make all eyes on TRVL. So it's no longer going to be like a shitty point system where most people aren't really bothered about. It will be fundamental and central to making this a success. TRVL. That's what he's saying. In not so many words, that's what he's saying. Yeah. And that's why he's put this in bold. Like, look, bold. The clue is in the bold text, isn't it? Someone's asking, please provide a target that TRVL can reach in this cycle. Okay. That will incentivize thousands of localized micro networks connect. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to incentivize these localized micro networks because of TRVL. And TRVL becomes that asset class, that royal asset class of coordination and loyalty, where people will now be thinking to themselves, okay, I need TRVL. How do I get TRVL? Because TRVL becomes extremely valuable. Okay, not just a sideshow. That's TRVL is going to become a sideshow. It's going to be central to what we're about to do, or what Dtravel is about to do. Okay, now he explains it. Why this matters. Travel is one of humanity's most basic expressions. It's how we learn, how we connect, how we remember who we are. When ownership disappears, travel becomes a commodity. See that? Recentering ownership restores meaning and purpose. It gives every participant a stake in the story they're helping to create. That's what drives Eric, him, me, he says, but Eric. And it's why I've stepped, not me, but Eric has stepped into the role of the CEO to bring this vision to life at scale. What's next? In the coming weeks, we will begin. So this is alpha, isn't it? He's basically giving you the clues. In the coming weeks, we will begin revealing the first pieces of this future. You'll see us unveil new ways for travelers and operators to participate in Dtravel, starting with programs that reward real travel behavior, strengthen local networks, and reinforce community contributions. We'll also be piloting a new ownership model. So this is quite interesting. We're piloting something new, something that people haven't heard of. Look. We'll also be piloting a new ownership model that hasn't existed in the travel industry before, starting first in destinations that demonstrate the clearest alignment between local operators, community leadership, and Dtravel's long-term vision. Our first initiative is underway in El Salvador. You heard it from me first. El Salvador. And we'll serve as the foundation for everything that follows. The future of travel won't belong to platforms. It will belong to people, hosts, explorers, communities, and to anyone who believes travel should feel meaningful, connected, and human again. If that vision speaks to you, stay close. This is a new chapter for Dtravel and the beginning of something bigger than us. Eric Pace, CEO, Dtravel. Right? So I'm trying to break it down. And effectively what he's saying is everything's changing because the future of travel won't belong to platforms. It belongs to people, hosts, explorers, and community. And that's how we grow Dtravel, by changing the way travel is rewarded and incentivizing hosts, explorers, communities, people to participate in the experiences that these people create, whether it's accommodation or other aspects of travel which they contribute to. and that's how they get rewarded, and that's the ecosystem that we're creating. It's so much bigger than an Airbnb killer. It will encompass everything to do with travel. And so when you go to right now, when you go to Dtravel, what do we have? Yeah, we have a very relatively small network. We have 6,008 listings online. We're in 140 countries, 1,279 cities. We have 10,885 operator sign-ups. And we've been seeing kind of really gradual growth. It's kind of tapering a little bit, but actually when you look at the total listings, it's nicely going up in a proportional kind of a very proportional line. It's not exponential, it's proportional, but it's very steady. It's not tapering, the listing. So we got growth, yeah, that this can, as time passes, this can just keep on going and going and going and going if we do nothing. Why? Because we actually have a really good product. You can actually just go there. And this is what he's talking about. This is kind of like where we initially began, trying to be the decentralized Airbnb, where people can go online, they can search for properties in different parts of the world, and they can click on the owner's website. And this is their website, even though Dtravel hosts it, you can click on their website, and then you can book their accommodation directly without paying third-party fees to Airbnb and Booking.com. So it makes it cheaper. It also creates a better experience because now the travelers are directly in contact with the owners or the people who operate and manage the properties, and then these people are running their own businesses. It's not controlled and micromanaged and dominated by Dtravel. It's decentralized. Yes, what we've created is a decentralized network. And if you go to this link, dune.com/Dtravel DAO/Dtravel -network -analytics, you can see the live stats. And these are live stats that are updated regularly. Okay, this is what we've created. It's actually the last update is 12 days ago. This is what we've created. This is taking a lot of time, yeah, a lot of time to create a physical real world network. And you have to remember the market's saturated with Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, and other kind of smaller platforms. And so what we've tried to do, what we've been able to do, is create a foothold in this market and grow a network, which is working. Yeah, I vouch to that. I've talked about myself a lot, and I'll talk about myself again. That's me. I'm an Airbnb Superhost, 4.99 stars, 10 years hosting. Look at that, 189 reviews. I'm from London in the UK, so I've been doing this for a long time. These are my listings. Actually, this one's my sister's. I co-host that, and they're based in London, and you can just go online and book that on Airbnb. So I have a lot of experience, and I have a lot of reviews. And so I kind of know a little bit about this industry, and I've seen a lot of problems in this industry too. Ultimately, I've kind of just pushed through and just managed those problems, and there hasn't been a real alternative to compete. And therefore, what seems to be happening is that this monopoly, whether it's Airbnb or Booking.com, they totally control my business. So if they come to me and say something, and they have in the past, I have to comply, even though they may be wrong or I don't agree with it. A clear example of that was COVID-19, where I had a summer's worth of bookings, like maybe 20 or 30 plus, and I run a strict cancellation policy, and they cancelled all the bookings, and they gave me no remuneration. They gave me no compensation, and that wasn't allowed. So they changed the rules. And you can argue, well, it was COVID-19, the world was collapsing, but that's what insurance is for. And so rather than force the travelers to activate their insurance policies, they actually unfairly punish the hosts, and effectively they destroyed a lot of businesses in the process. And a lot of people like myself were left with a large period of uncertainty because the business doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Airbnb. This profile, this is their website. These reviews, they don't belong to me. It belongs to Airbnb. Yeah. And so therefore, if they say something, I have to do it. If you don't comply, you're cancelled. That's how it works. If you don't comply, you're removed. You're delisted, you're blocked, you're banned. And there's never a fair, just appeal system or arbitration where you can get a fair hearing. Yeah, because it's a business. It's a monopoly now. And I don't like that. I don't believe in that. I think this could have been decentralized. And that's kind of why I got involved with Dtravel. Okay, I got involved with Dtravel because I do believe in the idea of decentralizing travel. And so I've been kind of hosting my properties on Dtravel on my own website. I use my own domain name. It's easy to do. It's just costs the price of a domain name. It just links quite easily. And here you can just go to my own website. It's my business. I'm in control. People can contact me directly and they can just book an apartment directly with me. I pass on the savings. I'm not trying to make more money. I'm just trying to give travelers a better experience. I get a lot of repeat travelers like this. And here they can just check availability. They can look into the future, check my calendar. When this loads. Oh my God. Is it my computer or the internet? I hope it's not the internet. No, it looks like the internet's fine. So just refresh that. Probably my computer. Oh my God. Something's wrong with my computer. Oh, there you go. Let's have a look at February. You can click on reserve. So this is directly with me. It's not with Airbnb. This is with me. You can pay using a credit card. That's processed and cleared through Stripe. But there's fees which I just pass on. Google Pay, as you can see, or crypto no fees. And you can connect your wallet and you can pay with different options: USDT, USDC, Matic, TRVL to save 10%, ETH, and now recently Coinbase Bitcoin, which is a wrapped Bitcoin on Coinbase. And we're going to add Bitcoin on Lightning to this, and probably everything else, probably, because we're chain agnostic. We're not tied to any specific chain. We can expand this and have multiple payment options. And there you go. You can put your details in and you can confirm and book. So that's kind of what we've created. That's the hard part. And I've talked about this in the past. I'll show you my back end. In the 3 years that I've been hosting with Dtravel, I've completed to date 36 bookings and $66,796 worth of realized earnings through the Dtravel platform on my properties in London. And so I've proven that it works. I've shown that actually you can make money and give a good experience and get return bookings without Airbnb using your own website. And I'm not paying for this on Dtravel. Okay. And so I've proven that model. And that being said, despite proving that model, we still haven't seen the exponential growth that we want to see, where people are now flooding to Dtravel, flooding away from escaping from the other platforms. We're seeing steady growth. That's because you have there's a few savvy people out there who understand and they want something better and they want to have more control. But the reality is that most, or if not the majority of people, are still scared of doing it themselves, or there's too much comfort with someone like Airbnb managing it. managing the payments, managing the communication. And also Airbnb have done a really good job in bringing travelers. They've done that, okay, because they were first to market, and so they have the lion's share. It's not really marketing, was it? It was Airbnb grew organically because it was an empty market. They were first to market. So that's the challenge. The challenge is, how do you get people across from Airbnb, Booking, and the other platforms to Dtravel? And it's obvious that just by being cheaper or giving discounts isn't enough. That was clear as day. And that's what this is about. That's what the new chapter is about. The new chapter is about creating something that hasn't been seen before and incentivizing people so that TRVL becomes the loyalty asset, the coordination asset on this open rewards layer. It's about creating something that doesn't exist in travel, okay? It's not about creating a new protocol or whatever and hoping people join it. It's about actually truly incentivizing people to participate, the communities to participate, incentivizing behavior and rewarding their behavior and their participation. And it's rather than just mere transactional benefits. That's what he's talking about. And so this is a sneak peek into the future. And this is part of the future. This is part of the future that's coming, okay? He's also talked about some other things, piloting a new ownership model. And also he's talked about the future of travel not belonging to platforms. And so what you have to understand is Dtravel isn't going to own the platforms. It's the people who participate in Dtravel, primarily through TRVL, will be the owners of the future. And that will also be the rewards layer that we're talking about. And so he's kind of explained it, but not so much. And that's okay, because he's also said that there's more to come, doesn't he? He says in the next few weeks, there's going to be we'll be revealing the first pieces of this future. And this is what we're anticipating, the revelation, the unveiling of the vision of this new leadership that I've been talking about in Dtravel. Okay, so what we should do is, I feel like we need to give Eric a chance to describe his vision and to start to implement his vision. And then if you go to Dtravel, you go to the X page, you can have a look. Excuse me. See there, they've posted the new chapter. I can actually retweet that now. This is where we're getting kind of the reveals. You see, actually, it came out on the blog post first, I think. And then November 17th, they posted that. And let me have a look at the comments here. I haven't looked at them. Insightful. So Planet has talked about it. Tony says, from the Spanish community, he says, hey, Eric, I like the initiative because it gives both owners and travelers the opportunity to create relationships that go beyond a simple transaction. My question is, can these payments be made with Sable? Absolutely, they can. USDT. Yep. Or USDC. Excellent new chapter. I think it's an excellent option for rent payments right now at DevConnect. Many establishments only accept cash and credit cards here in Argentina, so this solution would have been incredible at this time. Pretty interesting, the future of transactions. Knox says, love the update, Eric, and an amazing step for Dtravel. The open rewards layer section in particular was a great read to read. On our own podcast, we talk about this almost every episode, how people don't realize how different rewards platforms and loyalty platforms really are. Happy to support. Andy says, such a great new chapter. As you say, the key is give value of what people create. I would like to use this as soon as when it's ready. Let's go. So we're starting to pick up a little bit of support, a little bit of excitement about the future, the changes that we've been talking about, the new chapter. So we're no longer talking about Airbnb killer. We're talking about something much bigger. And the idea is to make TRVL central to the future that we're creating. So let's go and have a look at TRVL. So when you go to the website, let me go to the website. You can go into Dtravel and have a look, and I think what you'll notice is that some changes, some updates have happened. So if you go to learn, click on about, you'll see how here now they've updated the leadership team finally. So that's exciting. So now this is up to date. You see that? And I don't know if this is up to date yet, but still this is all being updated. And so when you go to the token, this still reflects the old tokenomics and the old vision. So this is all being updated. And as the updates are released over the next few weeks, you're going to start seeing some changes to the website. And that will reflect the future that's being created. And so right now you go to the website and you're thinking, wait a minute, nothing's changed. But just bear with them, bear with them. Everything here is going to change. Just like I've shown you, the about has changed. And this is all starting to change, okay? So you could say, well, we should change it all at once. But remember, we're a small startup. We don't have like thousands of people working. You know, it's a small group of people. And the reason why is to keep costs low. Yeah, because that's the whole point of Decentralized. It's to make sure that the value is passed on to the communities and the travelers and the hosts, and not to suck out the life from the people that contribute. So, but they're working flat out. They're working flat out, and then they are looking to grow and to expand that. But unfortunately, despite everything, what's happened to the token? So the announcement's only just been made, basically last week. And last week, if you look at the charts here, we had the most volume in a week's period last week, a big sell-off, okay? And it's crazy because if you look at how the price dropped from here to here, look at the volume. The volume is relatively low. And look how much the price dropped. The price with that relatively low volume, the price dropped like 87%. And now we've had like these last 2 weeks have had crazy volume. And you see the price hasn't really dropped that much. It's dropped 41%, which is a lot. But relatively speaking, it's not that much. And so you think this is bearish, but it's not. It's actually really bullish. There is decreasing prices and increasing volume, but at the same time, the buying is also happening. It's like the volume is coming in, but it's not pushing the price down. It's like there's a crazy selling going on, but the price is being bought back. It's being bought back. Now, the way the price is being bought is not with market buying. The price is being absorbed. That's what I'm seeing right now. Massive absorption is happening on a higher time frame. Okay? Massive. And there was some bearish divergence on the MACD, and now we're starting to clear the divergences because we put in lower prices and the MACD hasn't gone down. And you see in the CCI, we've cleared these lows now. We've finally cleared the bearish divergences, and we're into crazy oversold territory. The last time the CCI was in crazy oversold was, look at it, it was here. It was here, and that kind of bottomed. That was the last time there. It was the bottom. That was the last time. Look, it bottomed. There was a bottom here, a little bottom here. We're coming into that area now, aren't we? We're coming into a bottom here, right? We're in crazy oversold. We're coming into a bottom. We've cleared the bearish CVD at the top because now the price has dropped. It was clearly bearish because the MACD was going up, but the price is starting to drop. And now we're starting to see real heavy volume. Okay, so it looks like this is going to zero, but actually, I feel like the bottom was trying to form here. What we're experiencing is a lot of people panic selling because they feel like the bear market has started. Okay, but when you're looking at this project with all the changes that are about to happen, And then when you go to Coin Gecko, you have a look at the market cap, $1.5 million. I mean, what a joke. Yeah. The market cap, I mean, this is a real joke. Huh? People are like, it doesn't work with my brain. The divergence between the market cap, and we've actually processed $1.4 million worth of transactions, and our market cap, it's about the same as the market cap right now. Fully diluted 3.3, and we're talking about an extremely undervalued project right now. The trading volume is really good. You see that? You see the trading volume? 500,000 per day. So we're getting really good volume. Okay. Is this a buy? I'm not financial advice, yeah? I mean, I think you should do more research. I think there are ways to accumulate, and it's always a good idea to, if you're interested, to dollar cost average. That's the right way. But we're coming to really low prices now on Dtravel and TRVL. And what Eric is saying is TRVL is going to be the coordination and loyalty. That's the change. That's the big change that's happening. That's going to happen, where we are going to give TRVL real value, and it will be the way this works. It will be the way everything works. TRVL. That will be the energy of this network, and that's how much. That's what you want. You want, based on what he's saying, it's not the time to sell because you think the bear market started and this is the same as always. This is the time to pick up some TRVL. This is the time. Yeah. I'm giving you insight into the future based on what Eric has posted, and it's a continuation of what I've said in the past. This is a crazy sell-off. There's no analysis here. This is just beyond crazy. Yeah. And I can't tell people what happens next. Yeah. I think if you have TRVL and you're selling, that's a massive mistake because you're selling at loss. Yeah. And if you don't have TRVL, then this is a good opportunity to pick some up. Yeah. And to have a proper strategy to accumulate, to catch the lows, because we are in low territory now. Oversold low territory. You get some bullish divergences here. We're in oversold territory. I'm just looking at all these indicators. Now the question is, what happens next? Just because we're at the lows doesn't mean it can't go up to make a lower high and keep on going down. This is the thing. This could be the low. It could go up to put a lower high and it could keep on doing that, huh? And that's people's greatest fear, isn't it? This isn't the absolute bottom. It could keep on going down. It's always possible, okay? But at the same time, what we're starting to see is a lot of interest pick up, especially since Eric posted this. He's posted this on Dtravel. He's posted this on LinkedIn. A lot of investors are now starting to look at this and go, wait a minute, this is really cheap. And these people are fighting back. Maybe some people are looking at historically and they're thinking this is a dead coin. This has just been a crazy sell-off. There's no value here. But put the past aside. What we have to look at now is the new leadership since July. The way I'm looking at this chart is like that, basically, when the new leadership came into play. And actually, it's only just been announced. And so really, that's the kind of chart you're looking at. That kind of coincides with Bitcoin. And so right now, what we're experiencing across all altcoins is a crazy sell-off because of Bitcoin. And naturally, with these projects, these are small real-world projects. This is the opportunity to accumulate because these are the projects that are more resilient because they reflect real-world value and it's a real-world business. And with the changes that are happening, what we're hoping and we're predicting is explosive growth here on this token. Explosive demand. That's what we're expecting and predicting. And so I'm just giving you insight that this could be the opportunity of a lifetime to accumulate some. If you want to go all in, I mean, it's not going to take much. There's lots of millionaires out there. Yeah, it's not going to take much for a millionaire or someone with a large amount of money to come alongside and say, hey, I want to buy $1 million worth of TRVL. They could buy up the whole token supply just like that. They could do that. There's a lot of people out there who could do that. And so just watch this space. Don't panic sell thinking that this is the end of the project. This is actually the beginning, the new chapter, the new beginning. We're not going anywhere. We've been around for almost 4 years now. And we're about to make a new, this is the transition to the next part of the future. I'll just quickly have a look at Telegram. There's no technical analysis here. I'm just going over that post by Eric. Go onto Telegram. That's where you're going to find a lot of information. I apologize I haven't posted or I haven't streamed. I'm back to stream. There's lots of comments here, and feel free to go in and have a look. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it seems to be some good feedback. This guy, Kitty Commie, is talking about an endorsement from President Nayib Bukele. Who knows? Why not? Let's do it. Let's get an endorsement. Even better, let's get a crazy partnership. Excuse me. Have a look. Go into our channel, have a look. New booking sites activated, new booking sites, some whale buys, new bookings process. You can have a look there. You can see that there's activity on our channels in Telegram. New bookings, new bookings. You see it's active. We're active. We're doing new bookings. Our network is working. Our business is working. It's only a matter of time before this explodes. And with the changes that are coming, I know a summary of the changes, but it's not for me to announce them. I'm just saying they're coming. Just like I told you, there's a new CEO. Just like I told you that the tokenomics is changing. Just like I told you that El Salvador is on the map, and now you're starting to see it. And now I'm telling you that everything is changing. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you some. I wanted to show you my trip from from the Amazon. Let me do that. I'm going to go to my Instagram. My Instagram is actually private, but I've got a Putumayo. Is that loading? Can you see that? There you go. I'll go through my pictures. That's me on the plane. That's in Bogota. The streets of Bogota is lovely, yeah. Really, this is Halloween, actually. I was there Halloween. I don't think the sound, you can hear anything. Oh, that's because there's a mute. You can hear the vibe, can't you? Really nice, sir. Really good vibe. That's me, my friends. He's actually the shaman of the ayahuasca. This is our restaurant. That was during the night time. It's beautiful, though. That's Bogota. No, that's me. This is quite funny. Look at this. How funny is that? So we're just hanging out in Bogota. We went to an Irish pub. This is during the day. That's during the night time. Okay, this is when we're catching the plane. It was like a local flight, Satena. Oops. That's on the plane. It's one of these propeller jets, propeller planes. Look at that. Pretty awesome. This is getting off the plane. This is the airport. Look at it. Like one plane on the airport, no buildings, or maybe one small building. It's like from one of these movies.
Okay, we made it. Woo! Yeah, we made it, yeah? We made it, yeah! We made it! Look how happy these kids are. Made it to the jungle.
That's where we were, Puerto Leguizamo. You see, is on the border of Peru. There's me having breakfast. That's my breakfast. Vegan breakfast. That's platano, avocado, and tomatoes. That's all I can eat. That's just me hanging out with. This is the boat that we went on with the group. You see, I'm wearing the Dtravel hat.
Okay, we've departed. We've left. Everyone has got their cameras out. That's Peru on the other side. Can you see any crocodiles? Oh yeah. Exciting.
That's Peru there, huh? One on the left, and then. Well, no, that's not Peru. We're actually north. We've come off onto a subsidiary. That's the sky. We're in the jungle now. That's the sky at night. That's a local village. This is like literally in the Amazon. Look, that's what it looks like. Okay, this is the experience that I was having. This is actually cooking and create the ayahuasca drink, and this is the ayahuasca plant. So you have to kind of scrape it first of its bark. That's what we were doing. It was fun. And this is the local medicine woman who's leading the way. That's the pot that it went in. Look at that. And that's it cooking there. We were cooking it. And then they're using wood as the fire, as the fuel to power it. It rained a lot out in the Amazon. It was raining like crazy. That's the ayahuasca. Look at that. That's the night time. This is when we're leaving. We were there for 3 nights, and then we left in the early hours. It was really, I don't think scary is the right word, but exciting. For me, it was really exciting. Pitch black, just the sound of the jungle. This is the boat out. Can't see anything, but actually there's like, these are really small waterways. That's the driver. This is on the river back to the town, the village. So we were deep into the Amazon, and this is just on the way back. And this is a 5-hour boat trip down the Putumayo River, and we were going really fast. I don't know how fast, probably about 80 or 90 kilometers an hour, really fast. And on that side, I think it was Ecuador. I think that's Ecuador there. And on the other side, it's Colombia. It was really an amazing trip, to be honest. It was really exciting. Never done that before. That's me. If you couldn't tell. See, I'm wearing a Dtravel hat. I'm taking it everywhere. There we were. Colombia and Ecuador. Just hanging out with people from the trip. Now, this part of the trip, we were in a hotel, like a 1-star hotel, and then we went to Mallorca. That's where we had the ayahuasca ritual with the... I'm not sure if they used the ayahuasca that we made. Probably did, or probably not. I don't know. I have a clue. This was in the middle of the night. This is in the morning. That was fun. This is on the mountaintop. This is back in Bogota. So that's basically coming to the end of our trip. This is some pictures from the museum in Bogota. That was where we were in the jungle. Yeah, it's just some pictures. All right, so that was my trip. Fun. So anyway, Dtravel. Everything's changing. Eric Pace is taking the lead. He's talking to investors. He's talking to hosts. He's talking to people who've left, former investors. He's talking to new people. Dtravel's changing, and I think watch this space. I think it's good to just do your own research. Keep an eye on the Telegram. Keep an eye on the X page. You can keep an eye on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be streaming more often now. I'm going back to London now because it's my birthday soon, and probably spend Christmas there with my family back in London, and looking to come back to El Salvador on a more permanent venture sometime in the early part of next year, when some big things are happening in El Salvador. Some really big things. The new pilot thing that we're launching is going to be in El Salvador. It's going to be first of its kind, and you will need TRVL. That's the alpha. That's the secret sauce. Yeah, TRVL is going to be key to the future, and that's what's changing. So right in all of what you've experienced in the charts, there was no point to TRVL. You could have done everything on Dtravel in the last period of time, almost 4 years, without TRVL. There didn't need to be a token for what we did in Dtravel. There was no real incentive. Yeah, there was no real incentive. This is the thing that people don't realize. Yeah, where is the June analytics again? I'll bring it. Have I lost it? Probably. Yeah. In everything that we built here, there was no real need for TRVL. We built this really without TRVL. The incentive program, the TRVL that we returned wasn't a real incentive. There was no real incentive. People just sold it and moved on. That all of this work has been done without TRVL. That's why the price has dropped. Okay, and that now everything's been turned on its head, where TRVL will be essential to everything that's being built. It will be pivotal. It will be the center point of everything. TRVL. Yeah, that's how this economy is going to grow. Because once people start to see and understand and realize how valuable TRVL is, not only will they buy it, they'll want to obtain it any way possible, and that will be participating in the Dtravel network. And it won't just be hosting, it will be traveling. It will be communities participating with travel experiences similar to what I described, what I've been describing here for Tamayo. That's part of the experience. So it's not, I'm not creating this. I'm just showing you that in the future, there's going to be more and more people creating. I didn't create this. Travel experiences, putting it and bringing it onto Dtravel, and that will be how Dtravel grows. They'll be able to do that, and TRVL will be central to how everything operates and how everything functions. And so that's kind of like the sneak peek of the future, and that you can see from the Telegram and from the X page that the excitement is starting to grow. The community is starting to rally behind Eric and the team that I've already, this is the new team that I already told you about. If you go to the About page, you can see that. And so these are one of many changes that are happening, and I could sit down and stream for hours and talk about the changes. But I think I'm going to end the stream now. There you go. That's the team. This will surely grow and expand in the future. Keep an eye on Andrea. She's in our Telegram. She's our community manager. Here's her name, Andrea Monge. And if you've got any questions, you can just go to Telegram, you can ask, and she's very good. She's very good. She's very interactive. That's her, Andrea. I don't think I can see her. Oh, there you go. There's Andrea. She's from Venezuela, actually, and so she's coming to El Salvador too. So there's going to be a massive push in El Salvador, and then Central South America, and then we believe and we hope that that's going to grow like fire, like a wildfire to the rest of the world. Okay, so if you've got any questions or anything, just come and chat. You can come ask me questions. I'll try and answer questions, but really Andrea is the one, and then Eric also interacts. He's been interacting in the Telegram channel too. So if you scroll up, you'll see that out here. This is Eric. See that, Eric? This is James. So maximum participation, maximum interaction is appreciated. If you like this video, if you feel like it, give me a like, give me a share, give me a comment, and then I'll do a stream on Friday, this coming Friday, and then we'll just continue doing it, weekly updates as I was before, while I'm back to London and back in London. And we are exploring the connection between travel and wellness, and so part of the reason why I'm traveling and going on these experiences is so that we understand the experiences, but also we can build Dtravel to serve the local communities which create these experiences, and to create the connection between decentralized travel, the experiences which people want to go on, which are directly connected to wellness, and how we can make TRVL central to this whole ecosystem, and how the ecosystem will function with TRVL at the center of that. That's kind of the path we're on right now, and hopefully we're gonna have some big updates for you guys soon. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you on Friday. Someone asked for a TRVL price prediction this cycle. What the? All right. Honestly, who knows? But all-time high. Like what the hell? Like why not? Like I still don't like, just because we're at all-time lows. Yeah. All-time high. What is the all-time high? 1.56. Not that one. Which one is it? It was MEXC. MEXC is the right chart for all-time high. Up there. Is it going to get to the all-time high? I don't know, but I'm in it for the long haul. I'm accumulating, you know, like I'm picking more up. I'm not selling, I'm buying. I've talked about this before in the past. When you look at the chart on MEXC about a possible WXY on a higher time frame. Let me just have a look at that now. I think a 1-to-1 takes us all the way down to 1/10 of a cent. I think it's highly unlikely to hit that level, but it stopped at the 1.618 and then we flipped it. We kind of need to get back above 1/8 of a cent. That's going to be a real sign of strength, getting back above this level here. That's going to be like the first big sign of strength, to get back above there. And obviously getting back above the value area low would be really important too. Let's just do an update on the volume as well. I mean, we're at the value area low. Look at the volume that's coming. We're getting really strong volume here. So that's what you want to see, volume at the lows. But we're not in like market buying season yet, and that's kind of why the price isn't going up. It's just being absorbed. What else? It was that time fractal that I was talking about. Fib base time. A major time pivot coming on the second week of December. Yeah? Second to third week of December. That's a major time pivot on this token. I think probably with the way the price is descending, I think probably that's when we're going to bottom out, probably the second or third week of December. Yeah, and the way it bottoms, it doesn't have to bottom then. whatever. If it goes up, it could bottom like that, you know. Then the whole thing becomes a bottom. But that's kind of a major fib time pivot, and then the next one after that will be in March. And so maybe we pivot there, and then we rally all the way up to there, something like that. Do we get to all-time highs in one go? Probably not. But with a project like this, I'm actually targeting to all-time highs. That's how you make your money. You can trade and make money, but you have to know how to trade. And if you can't trade, then you shouldn't be buying and selling. You should just be accumulating, higher time frame accumulation, and then your exit or your big payday in the future is all-time high. Not financial advice, but that's how you win. Yeah, you accumulate the dips, you hold, you hodl, you hodl, you hodl. You don't care about the price, you care about the accumulation of the token. And when you get to all-time highs, you take your profit. You've made your money. And so this makes all of this worthwhile. All of this becomes irrelevant when the price hits all-time high and you take your profit, but then you have to take your profit. Okay, and that's your target, 1.56. People might think I'm crazy, but that's how it's done. That's how people make money. And then everything in and in between is just trading. If you're trading, you have to know how to trade. If you can't trade or you're not confident to trade, then don't trade. Accumulate, 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 accumulate. With so many holders of this token, how do I get that information? Somewhere here. Look, the market cap's so low. Yeah, it says 8,900 added to portfolio. If you go to coin market cap, have a look at TRVL. Oh, what is this rubbish? Does that work? No. Maybe that one. Holders, 32,000 holders and only a 1.5 million market cap. How crazy is that? Like, I don't know what to say. No comment. It's just ridiculous. And sometimes crypto can be ridiculous to the downside and to the upside. And it's just literally the worst place, the worst time to sell, because we're coming into a major time pivot. It's obvious that the pivot's going to be here. And then we're looking for an explosive move to the upside. What's the price target? I don't know. I mean, I think there's good places that people can take profit on the way up. But the reality is, because I know what's coming, because I know that the future is decentralized travel, I'm just going to be buying until all-time highs. Yeah, and that's the strategy that I will be using. You think I'm crazy, but why not? That's the whole of Dtravel are on that track. Everyone who is involved in Dtravel are on that track. They're on that track to take the price to all-time highs. Yeah. All right. I love you and leave you. And see you next time.